Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all, because we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and as you can see, we have come down, found support here at this 162.32. We closed at 174.31. I needed to point that out, right? So down here, bounced off of that 161.97 or 161.50 area, only to come back up to this area and find some type of support. Let's say that resistance, we've broken through a resistance area, 164.32. Let's start this over. Where are the trouble places for AMD as of right now? Support is around the 164.32, resistance around the 164.83. So should we break that 164.83, 165.37, 165.72, breaking that, something stopped us here at the 165.99 area for AMD. Should we break that, we could possibly have trouble again, 166.44, and breaking that level, 166.79. And should we break that, we could possibly have trouble right here at that 167.54. That is where our 50 EMA is as of now, and a level that I have marked at the 167.66, not very far away. So if we should break this area here for AMD today, the ATR trailing stop is around the 160, let's see, 168.34, 168.35 area. So if you are trading AMD today, those are possible areas of resistance or rejection areas. Now back to the downside again, this level here of 164.32 was a support area. If we should break that, we can come back to this area here, 163.09, breaking that 163.13. And should we break that 162.72, which brings us back to this area here, breaking that level, we could very well come back to 162.32, and breaking that brings us back to that 161.97 area. However, we bounced, something stopped us at the 161.63 here. Something stopped us here. Should we break that level, you see the level I have now here at 161.34. So if you're trading AMD today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Now breaking this 161.50, we could very well continue declining 161.02. So I say it often, y'all, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out. Live to trade another day, right? So let's look at NVDA today just to see where we are. We closed at 178.26. Seems as if we were kind of like trading sideways here in this zone, and only to come down, found support here at 175.88. And resistance, it was around this area, or is around this area, 176.89. Now should we break the 176.89, we could possibly have trouble again, 177.43. But you see that 20 EMA is there somewhere around the 177.32 area. So breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again around 177.80. Should we break that, 178.25. And y'all see that ATR trail and stop is right at a level that I have marked here at 178.58. I just love to see that. Breaking that means we've broken through, in my opinion, a strong layer of resistance for NVIDIA. So should we break that, 178.86 could be a rejection area, 179.16, and again 179.51. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble again, 180.12. Now let's look to the downside for NVIDIA today, breaking back under, let's say something held us up here, let's say somewhere around this area of 176.60. If we break this 176.60 or under this area here, we could come back to the 176.16, then again at 175.88, breaking that 175.47. And should we break that, 175.22 could be an area of support. I'm going to see if I can make that there. I do it all the time. 175.22. Yeah, so 175.87, 88, and then again here at the 175.47, 175.22, under that level 174.92, and should we break that level 174.68 and breaking that 174.32. So if you trade NVDA today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And notice I say possible. Why? Because in this market, anything is possible, right? Nothing is guaranteed. So we are now looking at the SPY, and I need to remove that line. So we are now looking at the SPY today. We closed at 627.97, and it has found support here at this ATR trail and stop. In my opinion, this is a strong support area. So should we break this, we have broken through a strong layer of support. 628.89 is our support as of now. Resistance is around the 629.48. Now, should we break this 629.48 for the SPY today, we could possibly have trouble again. 629.80, breaking that level. We have 630.20, and y'all see that is where our 200 EMA is, and a few layers of resistance. So breaking this area here up to the 630.50, should we break that, we have broken through a few layers of resistance for the SPY. So we're going to say that 630.50 and breaking that 630.77, 630.94, 631.25, again here at 631.54, and again here at 631.76. Now breaking that 631.76, the next level is here at around 632.73. However, anything can stop us out. We could very well get stopped out in this area here. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are possible rejection areas or resistance places, right? So under this level of 628.88, we could very well come back to the 628.41, which brings us to this area here. So should we lose that area of support, we can come back to 628.06, and breaking that, we're going to say something stopped us here around the 627.53, which is not far from the area that I have marked at 627.43. So breaking that 627.43 area, 627.27, not far away, breaking that 626.85, 626.51, and again here at 626.30. Those are possible support areas for the SPY today. Now, should we break this area of 626.30, we could very well come back to 625.88 and breaking that 625.38. So if the SPY is something that you trade today, I say it often, y'all, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, your reason for getting in the trade, make sure you have a plan to get out. So it's getting in at the right time and out at the right time, right? So we're now looking at Tesla. And we close at 308.72. Y'all, I said so often, Tesla does what Tesla does, right? So yesterday we came off of this 305.50, and y'all see how close we are to the line that we have marked. I love to see those, right? So where are the trouble places for Tesla as of right now? We can say our support areas around the 307.60. However, something stopped us here at 307.79. So 307.79 as support. We can use the resistance. Again, I look at it on a smaller scale, the 308.07. So should we break that 308.07, there's a few layers of resistance in between. So 308.47 is a rejection area. 308.60, not very far away. 309.05, should we break that? 309.30. 309.48, breaking that. 200 EMA is around the 309.75. Should we break that area for Tesla today? 309.92. 310.07. 310.27, not far away, but you all see that ATR trail and stop is right in an area that we have marked here at 310.55. I like to see that. So breaking that means we've broken through, in my opinion, a strong layer of resistance for Tesla. 310.55, breaking that brings us back to around 310.94, 311.14, 311.37, 311.50. Could be a rejection area for us. However, breaking that brings us back to the 311.76, which is not far, right? That's where we were here on yesterday. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are possible rejection areas or resistance places, right? So back to the downside, let's say we break under this 307.60, we could very well come back to around 307.35, not very far away. However, breaking that 307.04, 307 306.75, and breaking that level brings us back to here, which is around the 306.36. Now breaking that brings us back to the 305.54, which we have that 305.50 as yesterday's low. So breaking that means we've broken through a strong area of support, in my opinion. Now breaking that 305.50, we can come back to around 305.20 and find support. And breaking that level, we see here the next level is around 304.29. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out or find support anywhere in between this area here. So if you're trading Tesla today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Now again, breaking that 304.29, I have 303.79. Breaking that 303.79, we have here 303.25, and again at 302.79. So again, if Tesla is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all trade carefully, and once it goes against your why, get out. So we are now looking at Apple. Apple is an inside day. Apple is a double inside day. So it tells me it's setting up for something, in my opinion, right? So the trigger to the upside is 205.36, which we have already broken through that pre-market. So Apple has an upside target today of 207.92. Now to the downside for Apple, should we break under this 202.16 area, downside target 201.69. So if Apple is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully. We are definitely trading sideways, moved up, got rejected, broke through that 200 EMA, and y'all see it stopped right in an area that we kind of knew we could possibly have trouble. So the next level I would watch is this 206.73. Breaking that 206.73, we could possibly again have trouble around the 207.49 for Apple. So if again Apple is something that you trade, I said often, y'all trade carefully. Now we're at Amazon, AMZN is also an inside day candle above 216.41. We could possibly reach the target of 217.49. Now to the downside, if Amazon should break under 212.96, downside target 211.57. So Amazon is an inside day candle. Seems like it is trading in a little zone here. So I say mark your levels and trade carefully. Let's see where we can mark here. 215.51 could be a rejection area for us, and breaking that could take us to that trigger of 216.41. Breaking that level, we can use that 217.49. And you see the 200 EMA as of now for Amazon is around the 217.79. Now back to the downside, we can use the ATR trail and stop around 213.81 as a support area. Should we lose the area of 214.49, the next level will be that 213.81, and breaking that brings us back to this 212.96, which is the trigger to the downside target of 211.57. So again, if Amazon is something that you trade, I said often, y'all trade carefully. So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 763.46, and it too seems to be trading sideways in a gathering spot, right? So resistance as of now 767.11. We can also use this 50 EMA 767.92. Breaking that, we have the ATR trail and stop 770.30. Breaking that level for Meta today 771.38, and should we break that 774.03, breaking that level brings us back to around the 775. Let me make sure I have that right. Brings us back to around the 775, 776 area, 775.99 or 776. So if we break that level 778.43 and breaking that 780.60. Now to the downside again for Meta, should we lose support here around the 765.78 area, we can come back to around the 764.16, which is right here. If we should lose that area, we can come back to around the 762.84, and breaking that brings us back to this level here around 761.69. Now the 200 EMA is at that 762.21, so that's kind of like that in between thing that could hold us up here. So if you're trading Meta today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. Again, y'all, I said often, not financial advice, but this is what I see when I look at the market. There's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to figure out the strategy that works best for you. you and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan. Make sure that you have a plan before going into the trade. Let's say that, right? So again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day today. If you could, please like, share, subscribe. Y'all, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.